What is going on, you guys? AK40 Kevin here in the gamer heaven. Today I'm going to show you guys how to stream directly to Twitch. No, not in here, boys. I mean, right there, cozied up on the couch, playing directly from your console. All right, boys, sit back, relax. I got my assistant here. Let's get down to business. Alrighty guys, so no surprise here. Streaming directly from a console, you're going to be savagely limited in what you can do in comparison to streaming from a PC, where you can have animated overlays, multiple scenes, you can multi-stream while monitoring the chats from all of those. You have a mixer where you can mix up all different kinds of audio tracks, but you can get the job done from console. I have streamed quite a bit from console. From PS4, I streamed all of Ghost of Tsushima, all of Last of Us 2 when they first came out. And it turned out pretty good. I mean, obviously I didn't have some boom arm coming off of my coffee table with a condenser mic or something like that. I literally just pulled out the boom on my my headphones and recorded with that. It actually sounded pretty decent. And that is one of the things I'm going to cover, is having a good headset with a decent microphone and some of the settings for audio and whatnot. First of all, what you guys are going to need to do is download the Twitch app on your console. So whether you're on Xbox or whether you're on PlayStation. Now, PlayStation 4 lets you stream directly from the console, where you just hold down the share button and you can broadcast from there. It makes it very, very easy. However, on Xbox, that includes the Series S and X. I have a Series S over here. You actually have to download the Twitch application and then launch it. You need to link your account. And then you're going to come over here to broadcast at the top. And then by default, it's going to be right here on the home screen where you can actually watch people stream. Landmark is over here mollywopping noobs in Escape from Tarkov right now. But you're actually going to stream yourself. You're going to broadcast. So you come over here to broadcast. Let's go ahead and cut those lights a little bit for you guys. So this is the description right here. This is what your stream is going to be about. I'm just putting, Series S, 1440, 120 hertz, HDR, story playthrough. You do not need to put the game in your title, because as soon as you launch a game, it will automatically populate in there. So it'll say COD Cold War, Halo Master Chief Collection, whatever it is you're playing. Language, I would select your language, because people are going to see that English in there, and they may be prompted to watch your stream versus a stream with a foreign language. Go over to destination and just leave that on Twitch. There is a light stream, but it is a subscription service, and we're cheap around here. We'd rather save our money for games and hookers, right? So if you do have a webcam hooked up, which I do have a compatible webcam, when you plug that in, camera position will become activated, and you'll be able to select if you want it in the top right, middle right, bottom right, the top dead center, bottom center. So that's cool. You just select where your camera's going to be. Now keep in mind, you're not going to have some cool overlay or frame or anything like that. It's literally just a webcam. Now as for microphone, I would leave that at 100%. You can adjust your microphone settings either onboard your microphone or inside the software for whatever mic you have. If it's Razer, Corsair, SteelSeries, HyperX, they have a software suite where you can adjust your settings for your mic. But as for in Twitch here, leave that as 100%. With any stream, you want your voice to be the main focus, the main star of the show here, especially if you're not going to be using a webcam, which most of the time when I'm streaming console, since I'm just sitting on my couch, I do not run a webcam. So it's just the gameplay and my voice. So I try and make my commentary as entertaining as possible and try and make the gameplay as entertaining as possible as well. Now, party chat, if you are linked up with either a Discord or even Xbox Live chat, you will have a slider right here. You can mute them completely, or you can turn their volume down to about 80%, so they're slightly lower than your volume, so your voice is still the star here. Game volume, as with on PC when you're streaming, you want that at about 50 to 60%. So the gameplay sound is still heard, the dialogue and whatnot, but when there's loud explosions and gunshots and stuff, your voice is still taking precedence there. Alrighty guys, over here at my PC for a little bit, I want to talk about what bitrate to choose for your stream. So generally, if somebody's going to be streaming from PC, I share this article with them, and this breaks down whether you're using an NVIDIA graphics card with the onboard NVENC or NVIDIA encoder, or you're using your CPU, central processor unit, to actually handle the load of encoding and streaming. And this breaks down what frame rate and what resolution you're going to be at, and some of the settings that you're going to need to set up. Now, on console, you don't have to worry about any of these settings here. You literally are just selecting the resolution and the bit rate, and it's a little bit different for console. So I have this article pulled up here, which is specifically about streaming from console. So it was uploaded in 2019, but for some reason this guy's holding a PS3 controller. I don't know. Maybe they just use a stock photo or something. But Twitch does limit the maximum upload to 6,000 kilobytes per second, which means you cannot go any higher than that. It doesn't matter how strong your rig is or how fast your upload speed is. That is the cap for what you can actually encode and stream to Twitch. Twitch does reserve or allocate the brunt of its bandwidth for partners and also affiliates as well. You'll be able to have a selection, an option when people are watching your stream where they can view it in a lower resolution, 480i, 720p, 1080p, 900p. So if they have a slower internet connection, they can actually still enjoy your stream without getting buffering and even some glitching and whatnot, some stuttering. But if you are just a casual non-affiliate or non-partner, people that watch your streams, they're going to have to watch it in the native bitrate and frames per second and resolution that you have selected. So keep that in mind. Now, granted, most people in North America have decent enough internet to be able to watch a 1080p stream, but some people do not. So keep that in mind depending on what area you're streaming in. Now, this is very true here. A good starting point is to stream at 720-60. You should prioritize 60 frames per second over 720 versus 1080. Like, you can have a 720-60 stream that more people would actually enjoy than a 1080-30, especially if you're playing something like a first-person shooter that has a lot of high-speed action and whatnot. Your stream will actually look pretty choppy and whatnot if you are dropping frames or if you just have a lower frame rate selected here. So Twitch does recommend a bitrate of 4,500 kilobytes per second for 720-60. Again, you don't have to worry about any of these settings unless you're setting up on PC, but that's not what this tutorial is about. Now, during my PC streaming tutorial, which is coming up here pretty soon, I am going to talk a lot about 900p and how that is a super viable option. For example, Tim the Tatman, who obviously has great internet, streamer-grade internet, and a very powerful rig or PC, could easily be streaming at 1080, but for the longest time, for years, he was streaming at 900p because it's a lot less resource intensive and you're able to get a much more fluid, consistent stream out of 900p. It looks almost as good as 1080p, but uses much less resources. Again, video for another day, guys. So what kind of internet speed should you have to be able to run 720p at 30, which is the very lowest quality that you should ever stream? Do not go anything lower than 720p. The standard now is like 720p, the baseline. You know, people's equipment, I guess you could say, and what people have gone to expect nowadays is at minimum a 720p, 60 frames per second stream with good audio quality. So anything less than that, people are going to look at your stream, and unless you're incredibly entertaining or informative, or you're doing something very unique, or you're very good at a game and people are watching to learn, they're going to click off your stream immediately. So I would aim for 720-60 or 1080-30. Now on the Xbox Series S, which is what I've been streaming from recently, that is the cap, 1080-30. It cannot hit 60. The Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 can do 1080-60, as they do have a lot more graphical power in the APU. But at minimum, you should have about 0.4 megabytes per second. This is the very lowest that you can acceptably hit 720-30. I would say at least 1.0 megabytes per second upload speed would be acceptable for running 720-30. But obviously that is very, very low. That's not good upload speed whatsoever. I do have a ton of tutorials on this channel showing you how to get better internet speed, whether you're on Wi-Fi or Ethernet, whether you're on console or PC, by using repeaters and modems, routers, or even just adjusting settings in your console or PC. I have a ton of those videos. They are in the tutorials playlist on this channel. But honestly, what I'm going to ask you guys to do here would be to start streaming at 720-60 from your Xbox One or Series, and then scale up from there. If people are enjoying your stream and you tell that you have enough upload speed to spare and you're not really, seeing any kind of performance dip in your console games or anything like that, go ahead and crank it up at that point to 1080-60 or 1080-30, depending on what console you're on and what it can handle. This article, as well as this article, are going to be linked in the description below for your perusing pleasure. You can also hit automatic here, but honestly, it seems like the console application will just spit out some craziness. Like, for example, right there, because I have very strong internet, I get about 960 down and 3040 up on my PC. But here, via Wi-Fi on my console, I'm getting about 230 down and about 30 up. So that's still really great speed. So it automatically pins my bandwidth out to 6500. But the actual cap, the most that is accepted, from Twitch is 6,000, so you want to keep it at that. I do want to be streaming at the maximum of 1080p. Kevin, how am I going to monitor my chat and whatnot? That is a very good question. What you're going to do is you're going to pull up your phone, you're going to install the Twitch app, you're also going to link your account there, and as soon as you start broadcasting, you are going to get a pop-up with your chat. We're going to do it. We're going to go live on this video here, and since you don't have like an intermission screen or a be right back screen or something like that, from a console, when you hit your Xbox home button or your PlayStation button and you're actually in the interface, the main menu, it puts this little static screen on there that's kind of like a BRB screen. It doesn't mute your mic or anything, so you'll physically need to press the button on your headphones or mute your mic in the software so people don't hear you, you know, beating your wife or taking a piss or whatever. So just keep in mind, you know, you need to mute your mic, but it will have like a static intermission screen. It's just a picture on there. And then as soon as you get back in the gameplay, it'll start screen recording again. But monitoring your chat, you're going to do that on your phone. Also, if you have a tablet, you can kind of prop that up with like a stand or a pop socket or something, and just have that sitting on your side table in your living room right next to you. Or if you don't have a side table, just have it sitting next to you on the couch. So that way you'll see out of your peripherals when somebody messages you. Also, it will show you that you have a message, and it will show you how many viewers you have when you're live. All right, boys, so we're going to go ahead and go live real quick. All right, awesome. So it shows you've been streaming for 0 minutes. That little eyeball icon, sure enough, is showing that you have 0 viewers. And it will show you if you are mic'd up and also if you have a webcam plugged up. I do not currently have my webcam plugged up, but I do have my microphone in my headphones. Now you can mute that via your headphone, via the actual buttons on your headphones, so that's convenient in case you want to not be mic'd up for a minute. But if you ever need to change any of these settings mid-game, you can. You can just get out of your game with the Xbox home button, switch over to Twitch again, and you will have control while you are live to your volume and all that other good stuff. All right, now that we launched that game, it changed from Halo Master Chief Collection, which was the last game I was playing on here, to Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. That is the game I'm going to be streaming this evening. And right now, this is my stream, as you can see from my phone. This is kind of the little waiting screen that it has you on, this little static screen. Let me go ahead and dim the lights here. So this is what is seen by people whenever you are in the Xbox menu or not currently playing the game. And then you have your chat right there. You'll be able to actually type in messages there, or obviously you can just respond by voice. So don't make the same mistake I did when I first started streaming on the console, and that is just to tap on your icon up here, because that'll actually be watching your stream. So you're gonna have your game sound playing twice. People are gonna hear it coming out of your phone unless you mute your phone. But what you really wanna do when you go live and you're trying to monitor your chat is hold down over the top left where your icon is, like that, and that pops up your stream manager, and you'll have your chat right here. You can respond to people, and it also has an activity feed too, so you can actually see when somebody follows, so you can thank them, stuff like that. So that's pretty sweet. Alrighty guys, back over here at my PC, I want to talk a little bit about some of the equipment that you don't need but will make your stream a lot better if you're streaming directly from console. So since you're probably not going to be using a condenser mic, kind of like what I have here on the boom arm, which don't get me wrong, you totally can. You can get like a little $25 or $30 condenser mic like this, just get it on the tripod like that, and set it on the table next to you, and basically assign that as your microphone in Twitch. It'll have a little drop down, and you'll be able to select what microphone you want. However, not all of these microphones are compatible with console, so I will link the ones that I have tested that are compatible and work on my PlayStation and my Xbox. And the thing with that is it's kind of inconvenient, because streaming from console, you don't really want a 10 or 15 foot USB cable running across your living room floor waiting to get tripped on by your dog or kids or something like that. Not to mention that headsets nowadays have pretty good onboard microphones. Now, granted, my Nari Ultimates over here, they sound great and everything, but they're about 3.5 years old, and those don't have the best quality microphone built in. However, I just did test 2 headphones on the channel here recently. The Razer Kyras over here, and then the Turtle Beach 700 Stealth Gen 2s. And those both have really, really good quality microphones to where you could easily stream like that without having to mess around with the condenser mic or anything like that. So that's one thing that I will recommend to you guys, is that you don't skimp on a headset, because not only is the headset supplying your audio output to your ears, what you hear when you game and whatnot, but if you're going to be streaming, it's also doubling as your microphone too. So you're technically taking 2 costs and putting it into one device. So definitely don't skimp. You want something that has high microphone quality. And that's something that you should look for when you are purchasing a headset, is that it actually has a high quality microphone as well. Considering if you are streaming directly from console, that is probably what you're going to use. Now, when you're ready to step up to having a webcam, there are several webcams that are compatible, like this 1440 one right here, just a little cheap generic one. I will have that linked in the description below, as this one is compatible with the Xbox Series. Now, the one that's recording me right now on my PC, I tested this one, and it just would not register with my Xbox. It didn't even recognize it. So not all webcams are going to work. But honestly, for a webcam, you don't need anything higher than 1080p. I would get a 1080p webcam, not a 720, but you don't need a 1440 or a 4K, to be honest. Save that money and put it elsewhere. Now, keep in mind, if you are going to use a webcam that obviously you're going to be seen, I mean, duh, you're using a webcam. So you want to have an entertaining backdrop, maybe some kind of lighting behind you. But, you know, if you're recording from a console, generally it's probably just going to be your kitchen or your living room behind you. That's why, to me, honestly, when I'm streaming from a console, I personally don't use a webcam. I just try and make my voice commentary in the gameplay as entertaining as possible. Obviously, right here on the PC, that's when I go all out with, you know, overlays and, you know, multiple scenes and effects. I can play MP4 videos, stuff like that. But for just streaming from a console, I don't really prioritize production value too much. I just try and make my actual core content as entertaining as possible. But if you want to get some of the features that I just showed you, like overlays and transitions, and a built-in chat box that you can actually monitor on screen in an overlay, and you want to be able to play music from streaming services and stuff like that, then what you can do is get what's called a capture card. Elgato makes a pretty good one. It's kind of pricey, but you can get a capture card and then plug that into your laptop or a PC that you have in your living room, and basically capture your gameplay from your console to the capture card to the PC, and then basically stream from that. And that's a much more in-depth process, but if you want to get professional PC-like streaming from a console, that's the way to do it, is to use a capture card. But this tutorial is primarily showing you what you can do with literally just a console. You can have a good enough stream that you will gain viewers, you will gain followers, maybe even subs. And, you know, as long as your core content is entertaining, you are being entertaining and informative, interacting with your chat, responding to your messages, so have that pulled up on your phone so you can actually respond to people, see when they follow and thank them and whatnot. You can stream directly from a console, no problem. So hopefully this tutorial was beneficial for you guys. If it was, liking the video helps it to get seen by more people, kind of ticks off the YouTube algorithm that people actually enjoy this tutorial. For more content like this, tutorials helping you get set up streaming or making YouTube videos, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're alerted when that new video comes online. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.